See, the world we live in today, it's loud, it's fast, it's always pushing you to stand out, to climb higher, to outwork, outshine, outperform everybody else in the room. They tell you, be self-made. Nobody's coming to save you. Build your empire, be the boss, be the brand. But let me ask you this, what good is it to build something with your hands if your heart ain't in it? What good is standing at the top if you had to leave your soul behind to get there? I've seen people win the world and lose themselves. I've seen folks with millions in the bank and emptiness in their eyes. I've sat with men in suits who were dressed for success, but inside torn to pieces, because they bought into the lie that you have to do it alone. That needing help is weakness, that inviting God into the process is somehow soft. Let me tell you something. The world might glorify independence, but your spirit knows better. You were never designed to walk this life alone. You weren't wired to carry every weight, every burden, every battle by yourself. That's not strength, that's slow destruction disguised as hustle. You can hustle your way to the top and still end up broken. You can master your craft, win every award, break every record, and still feel like something's missing when the crowd goes home. Because without God, that win ain't complete, that win won't last. That win will cost you something that no money or fame can ever repay. There's a myth out there that real strength is being self-made, but I've learned something far deeper. The strongest people I know are the ones who surrendered, not to defeat, but to something greater than themselves. So if you're trying to do it all, carry it all, be it all, let me tell you right now, you don't have to, and more than that, you're not supposed to. Don't let the noise of this world drown out the voice of the one who called you in the first place. Don't chase a win that doesn't include him. Because the truth is, if he's not in it, it's not a win. It's just noise, and at the end of the day, all that noise can't fill your soul, only he can. You ever notice how God moves? He doesn't show up with neon lights and fireworks. He doesn't come crashing through your plans with loud announcements or front page headlines. No, God moves quiet. He moves deep. He moves faithful. See, we're so used to the noise of the world, the notifications, the headlines, the validation, the applause, that we forget the most powerful forces in our life often move in silence. Like the roots under a tree. You don't see them, but they're the reason that tree still stands in the storm. That's God. You might be sitting there thinking, where is he? Why isn't he showing up for me? But what if I told you? He already did. What if I told you the job you didn't get was protection? What if the door that closed was mercy? What if the silence was him working something out you're not ready to carry yet? We want God to show up on our schedule, on our terms. But he's not some vending machine faith. He's not a genie in a bottle. He's the architect, the builder, the father, and just like a good father, he works behind the scenes when you're asleep. He covers you when you're unaware. He sets the table before you even know you're hungry. There were times in my life, seasons of confusion, pain, disappointment, where I thought I was alone. But looking back, I can see his fingerprints all over it. When I was walking into a room thinking I earned it, he was the one who opened the door. When I made it through a night I should have been crushed by, he was the one holding me up. When I was asking why things were falling apart, he was letting the wrong things break so the right things could be built. We give so much credit to chance, luck, timing, but you know what that is? That's just the world trying to rename God's grace. When that car missed you by inches, that was him. When that deal came through, even though you didn't feel qualified, that was him. When your mind should have broken under the pressure, but somehow you kept going, that was him. Don't let the quiet fool you. God is not absent. He's strategic. He's writing a story not just about your success, but about your becoming. And sometimes the scenes you hate the most are the ones that shape you the deepest. He's not always loud, but he's always there, always moving, always loving. You may not see the wind, but you feel it in the trees. That's how he works, not always visible, but always vital. So when you feel forgotten, when you feel like it's all on your shoulders, I want you to remember you're not walking alone. You never were. Let me bring this closer to home. See, I wasn't always talking like this. I wasn't always walking with this clarity, this peace. There was a time I thought I was the reason things were happening. I thought it was all about talent, effort, ambition, and I had those things. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had the fire, I had the hunger. I had the gifts God gave me, but I thought they were mine to manage alone. So I pushed, I grinded, I worked like it all depended on me, because deep down I believed it did. I'd walk into rooms with my head high and my spirit heavy, because I was trying to carry the weight of destiny without the strength of the one who gave it to me. I was chasing roles, not purpose. Chasing recognition, not revelation. And here's the thing, the world rewarded it. The world loves confidence without context. They'll clap for your image, even if your soul's breaking behind the scenes. I remember one moment in particular, I won't forget it. I had just finished a project. Got the kind of praise people dream about. Awards, attention, spotlight. And I was sitting in this hotel room, lights off, completely quiet. And I felt nothing, empty, no joy, no peace. Just this quiet voice in my spirit saying, "You're succeeding in the wrong direction." I didn't want to hear it, but I couldn't ignore it, because you can only run on ego for so long before it runs out of gas, and mine did. So one night, not in a church, not on a stage, not in some big dramatic moment, I just got tired. Tired of pretending I had it all figured out. Tired of winning on paper and losing inside. Tired of trying to outrun the God who had been chasing me my whole life. And I got on my knees. No script, no speech, just surrender. I said, "God, if this is what winning feels like without you, I don't want it anymore." And in that quiet space, something shifted. It wasn't like lightning or thunder. It was subtle, but it was real. Peace started creeping back in, direction, stillness. God didn't scold me. He embraced me, not because I had done everything right, but because I finally stopped trying to do it all without him. From that point on, the work didn't stop, but the weight changed. I wasn't just chasing opportunity. I was chasing obedience. I wasn't just asking for more. I was asking for meaning. And hear me, purpose will always carry you further than pride ever could. Because pride builds platforms. Purpose builds legacy, and legacy is what you leave behind when the applause fades. So yeah, I had to break a little to understand this. But in that breaking, I found something unshakable, something no role, no award, no applause could ever replace. I found him, or maybe he found me again. You know, for a long time I thought victory looked like noise, big wins, big checks, big crowds. I thought the measure of success was how loud the world clapped when you walked into a room. But over time, and through some storms, I learned something that changed everything for me. Peace is louder than praise. Now let that sit for a second. Because we've been trained to crave the sound of other people's approval. We post something and we're refreshing the likes. We achieve something and we're checking who noticed. We step on a stage and deep down we're wondering, do they love me yet? But listen, when you're chasing the world's applause, you will always be performing. And performance is exhausting. You smile when you're broken. You show strength when you're struggling. You keep running, not because you're passionate, but because you're afraid to stop. And let me tell you something from experience. That kind of winning will wear you down. Because praise fades, trends fade, people's opinions, they'll shift with the wind. One day they love you, next day they forgot your name. But peace doesn't need an audience. Peace doesn't need a spotlight. Peace walks with you in the quiet. It guards your mind when everything else is shouting. See, real victory isn't about how loud the room gets when you succeed. It's about how still your spirit is when you're alone. Can you rest at night? Can you look in the mirror and respect who you see? Can you succeed without losing your soul along the way? The world teaches you to chase platforms, but God teaches you to build altars. Because a platform will make you seen, but an altar will make you whole. And when you walk with God, when you let Him into your plans, you start to realize that every win doesn't have to be public to be powerful. Sometimes the greatest victories happen behind closed doors, when you choose character over compromise, when you forgive when no one's watching, when you love when it costs you something, when you say no to something tempting because you said yes to something holy. That's the kind of win the world can't measure. That's the kind of win heaven celebrates. Let me tell you, the most dangerous thing you can do is win in life and lose your way. To gain the world and forfeit your peace. To rise in front of men but fall before God. So if you're climbing, keep climbing, but check your compass. Don't just ask, am I winning? Ask, who am I becoming while I win? Because in the end, it's not about how many people remember your name. It's about whether you fulfilled the purpose he gave you. Peace is the proof. Peace is the fruit. And peace, that's the win that can't be taken away. There comes a point in your life where you've got to make a decision not just about what you're chasing, but how you're chasing it. Because everybody wants to rise, everybody wants the breakthrough, everybody wants to win, but very few are willing to surrender first. And that's the paradox of the kingdom, the mystery of how God works. In this world, they'll tell you to grab control, take charge, make it happen, but with God, letting go is the first step to rising. You want to go higher, drop your pride. You want to walk into purpose. Leave your ego at the door. You want to carry more, learn how to kneel. See, surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's you finally realizing that this calling you carry, it's bigger than your strength. That what's on your life wasn't meant to be driven by hustle alone, it was meant to be led by Him. And I get it, surrender's scary. It feels like stepping out into the unknown. It feels like letting go of the steering wheel when you've been driving your whole life. But here's what I've learned. God doesn't take the wheel to crash you, He takes it to carry you, to lead you to places you never could have reached on your own, to protect you from the collisions you didn't even see coming. Some of you have been trying to force open doors that God never assigned to your name. You've been trying to make blessings happen by brute strength. You've been exhausting yourself and wondering why you still feel stuck. It's because you're trying to win without the one who wrote the win in the first place. You weren't built to do it all. You weren't built to bear the full weight of your calling without the grace that sustains it. And grace meets you at surrender. It floods in when you stop trying to impress and start trying to obey. When you say, Lord, I don't just want success, I want your strategy. I don't just want the blessing, I want the alignment. Because when you walk in alignment, you don't have to chase, things begin to flow. Doors open that no man can shut. Peace follows you into pressure. And victory doesn't just look good, it feels good. It feels right. Some of you are one surrender away from the life you've been begging God to give you, one moment away from clarity, one prayer away from peace, but you've got to choose. You've got to say, God, if you're not in it, I don't want it. If you're not going with me, I'm not going. And when you do that, when you make Him the center, you start to realize something. You can't lose. When you refuse to win without Him, because with Him, every step is guided, every delay is divine, every victory is multiplied, and even your failures get folded into the plan. So if you're standing at the edge of something big, if you're asking if it's time to go all in, the answer is yes, but don't go alone. Don't run ahead of the one who gave you the dream. Let Him lead, let Him fight for you, let Him win it through you, because the real rise, it starts when you surrender. So as I leave you with this, I want you to hear me clearly. You were never meant to win without Him. Not because you're not talented, not because you're not capable, but because your gift was never meant to function apart from your giver. See, the world will clap for your grind, but heaven moves on your surrender. And I don't care how far you've come, how high you've climbed, or how many people are watching if He's not in it. It's not complete. You might have the trophy, you might have the title, but without peace, without purpose, you're still searching. Don't confuse motion with meaning. Don't let applause become your compass. Don't win the war on the outside and lose the battle within. Because real winning, the kind that lasts, the kind that builds legacy, the kind that leaves your soul intact, that only comes when you walk with Him. So today, I'm not just calling you to rise, I'm calling you to release. Let go of the pressure to do it all yourself. Let go of the pride that tells you you've got to carry it alone. Invite Him in, not just on Sundays, not just when it's falling apart, but in your planning, in your dreaming, in your grind, in your becoming. Because with Him, you won't just succeed, you'll become whole. And when it's all said and done, when the lights fade, the noise quiets, and the world moves on, you'll be able to stand tall, look up, and say with full confidence, I didn't win without Him. I didn't walk without Him. I didn't become without Him. And that right there, that's the real win. God bless you. Stay strong, and don't ever forget who brought you this far.